Hello YouTubers, today I'm bringing you a video that has a popular topic to it, the Scuff One controller and how it works and blah blah. Quick note about the gameplay, top right is me using the Scuff controller to play the games and everything. It's just to see how, if you look at it and notice what I'm doing on the screen, it has nothing to do with, I'm never using the face buttons, which is just something to take note of about what it does. So, I'm going to go over the good first. So, on my controller personally, I got the Scuff grip, the trigger stops, and 4 paddles on the back. No paint or anything on the front to have it colored, because I don't really see the point. To start out with the Scuff grip, feels nice, but that's about it. The trigger stops, they work well. I can definitely say I can click the trigger a lot faster with my pointer finger. The paddles, they work well for what they do. They remap the buttons in the back, so you don't have to move your fingers off the face buttons, as you probably are seeing in the video right now. They just work well. I mean, if the whole reason you're buying a controller is the main function, which is the paddles on the back. And one thing that I have to say, it works phenomenally well with Titanfall because of the mapping of the A button. It sounds weird, but if you are playing Titanfall without a Scuff controller, you know how annoying it is to constantly move your right thumb A to A, and back to do parkour over all the buildings. It's a pain in the butt. And with the Scuff controller, it is so much better. It feels so much easier. And it just, that's better. With Call of Duty, I don't see as much of a difference because, I don't know, it's just not that much of a difference. I play on tactical without it, and I play on it with it, and there's not much of a difference. And now I want to go over the bad. About the Scuff controller. I didn't go over the good that much, but you already know what the good is. That's why you're here. Start out with the grips. The grip feels nice, but that's it. It doesn't really keep your hands on there. I mean, yeah, sure, if you put it on a door, or a horizontal door, not horizontal, like 45-degree angle door, it wouldn't slide down like regular controllers would, but it just, when you get sweaty hands, you're not going to fall off, your hands aren't going to magically stick better with that, and I for one if I'm playing for a couple hours, I get pretty sweaty hands, and this does not help. It just looks nice, and one thing I have to say is, don't get it. If that's a feature you're going to think about, don't get it. For $5 less, and from a different website, you can get a really amazing rubber grip that covers the whole controller. It feels so much better, and it's cheaper. It just is amazing. And I know you're probably looking at this picture right now going, how do you press the face buttons? Well, you shouldn't have to because you have paddles on the back. So, now we'll move on to these trigger stops. Trigger stops are amazing. That's something I can't really criticize that much. Well, that's not true. With the trigger stops, every time you pull it, it goes back a little more. I mean, if that makes any sense. If you press it too hard, it pushes back the screw, which makes it so the trigger stop loses a little bit of its. There's more time between where you press the trigger and where it shoots. You're having to adjust it like every week or so. It's not that big of a deal. But what the big deal is getting the little side panel off. That is a pain. I mean, when you're taking it off, it feels like you're breaking the controller. It does not feel natural whatsoever. It just does not feel right with the prior tool that you get. Other than that, the trigger stops are great. Now finally about the paddles. The paddles, again, they work well. They work for what they're used for, but the placement is awful. Regularly you'd hold it so your fingers, at least I hold it, all your 3 other fingers are wrapped around the end of the controller, and it feels really good to hold on to. But with the Scuff paddles, you're forced to hold it at a weird angle. And it just doesn't feel right. If you've looked at any other controllers that have the same features, like the Imagine Customs Edge, they have little buttons on where you would normally have your fingers. And I think they did a better job than Scuff on the placement. And just personally, I have 2 calluses on either of my side of my middle fingers, because that's where I have to press the buttons. it's not convenient. They should have thought of placing better. Another guy did it himself. He put the paddles right where the Imagine Custom persons put their buttons, right on the side, so you just have either right there to press. And one thing that I would want to do is if you're gonna think about it, don't get the extra 2 paddles. The X and Y, I'm gonna use Call of Duty for example. I don't think there's ever a time, besides if you run out of ammo, that X or Y, I mean, when you're reloading, is it really critical that you reload before the other guy does, or in any way, shape, or form? Reloading isn't that big of a deal, so you move your finger off the trigger for a second, it's not that much of a deal. And Y, I can see you just do Y really fast, switch weapons and do that, but that's like Titanfall. I don't use weapons in Call of Duty, that's just a personal thing. But, yeah, that's just how that works. Finally, with the mic adapter. If you've ever done that or have an older headset, which I don't have I have an Astro A40, the newer ones, and I wanted to use those, but I really couldn't use those because, you know, I had to wait till the mic adapter came out. First got the controller, took the mic adapter off my old controller, which fit perfectly, by the way, first try, no hassle. I think they have to modify the internals, I mean, obviously do it with the motherboard of some kind, so that when you push the Scuff, or the mic adapter in, it hits the motherboard, and it does not go in smoothly at all. I'm gonna wrap this up here, but it does not go in smoothly at all. It just is not a good fit, and that took me a while. I don't know how I finally figured it out, but I did it. Other than that, it's not really a review, it's just positives and negatives, but hope this has enlightened you about your Scuff experience. Thanks for watching, and I'll put the link to the music in the description if you really care. But again, thanks for watching. I hope this can shed some light on what you're about to buy, and thanks for watching.